was a little surprised to see It Could Happen to You at the top of my wish list recently. But your wish is my command, so here we go. Hi my dear jazz guitar aficionados around the world, Sandra Sherman here. Greetings from Austria. I'll teach you my arrangement of It Could Happen to You, note for note, slow and easy, and there is also a slow playthrough of the entire song at the end of this lesson. I've made tabs and backing tracks. The tabs include regular music notation and the tabs, and you can download all of this from one of the links down below in the description box. Please read the download instruction, that little sentence right next to the link. Alright, let's get started. We are in the key of G major, like in the Chet Baker version, and we have an A1 and an A2 section. Each of these are 16 bars long, so we have a total of 32 bars. Here we go. Alright, here are the first 4 bars, and I'm gonna play through them fast first, then I explain everything note for note, and then I play through it slowly again. Alright, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're in the key of G major and we start with the G major chord. Here is the G, 3, 4 of D, 4 of G, and that's it. Then I play this quiet because it is not the melody yet, alright? So we don't want this to sound loud. And then we add the melody, which is the 3rd of the B string. And this is louder. Then the 5th of the B string. And then we have a 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of A minor. We start with a B half diminished, that's the 2 chord. 2 on the A string, 2, 3, and 1. There's nothing on the B string. Alright, that's a B half diminished chord. Then I let go of the index, play the open E string. And then we have the 5 chord is an E altered chord. I play a diminished voicing, which is a substitute for it, and that's the G sharp diminished chord. G sharp here on the 6th fret of the D, 7, 6, 7. Now what you can do, and what I like to do, is when I have an E altered chord, I play the low E string. I take advantage of that low E string, but you have to mute the A string by touching it with your index ever so slightly. Now your chord becomes real fat. But you don't have to do that, you can also play only those 4, right? I prefer it the fat way. Alright, B half diminished. Then the resolution chord, the 1 chord, A minor, and that's A on the 5th, nothing on the A string, 5 and 5. Up till here I bar this, so you can't strum it. Then the B string on the 5th by barring, and the 7th of the B string. The counting is always 1, 2, and. So the second note always comes in at 2 and. 1 and 2 and. just for your information. So now we have another 2-5, but it doesn't resolve. The last bar of the phrase one, this is C sharp half diminished, same as B, but on C sharp. 4, nothing on D, 4, 5, 3. Then I go over to the second fret. Try to have everything ring throughout the entire thing. And don't go like... And then the 5 chord is an F sharp altered, same as E, but 2 frets above is F sharp. And that's a diminished chord again. 8, 9, 8, 9 of the upper 4 strings. Now, of course, I can't play the E bass, so just the upper 4 strings, right? And that was phrase 1, and here it is at slow tempo for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's phrase 2. Here is the fast tempo version. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and now we have a G7 here on 10 of the A, 9, 10. I just play these 3 strings first, because we have the melody here. No, actually not. But because this is not the melody, I wanted to keep it low and quiet. 1, 2, and now the melody is up here, and I bar over my ring finger through the 10th of the E string and strum through all the 5 strings. And you should catch that melody actually. And one more time. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Right? Then G major 9 chord. Here would be the root. C. Did I say G? C major 9 chord. C. We don't play the root. I guess you know this voicing. We play this part with these fingers. 9, 9, 8. And here's the 9th. The 10th fret of the E string. That's the 9th of the chord. Right? Then the 8 of the E is the melody. And another melody tone here, and I shape a C6 9 chord. Again, here would be the root, or actually we have the root on top. 7, 7, 8, 8. C6, 9. So, for this bar, plus another time on the B string. All right. Next we have an F9 sharp 11 chord. That's an interesting thing. Here's the F9 chord. We don't play the root. We play 7, 8, 8. And here's the sharp 11. So we need to bar this. 7, 8, 8, 7. And all right, let me continue first. The rhythm, we have a rhythm filler now. So I play all those 4 strings. Then the bass is the D string. And then the upper 3 or all the 4 strings, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And now we have E altered, and we know this G sharp diminished chord already. That substitutes for it. With another rhythm filler. All 4 strings, 6, 7, 6, 7. Then maybe just the upper 3. Rest, and on all 4 again. That's just a typical jazz swing rhythm filler thing, all right? Right, next we have the resolution of E is A. A minor 9. I take advantage of the open A string. In chord melody I do that a lot because it leaves me some fingers free for the melody. Open A, 5, 5, 5, 7. I strum through it, and then another rhythm filler, bass, and the upper 3, right? then it's 5 chord. Because this is not only the resolution of the E chord, it's also the beginning of a new 2-5 progression. So A minor is the 2 and D is the 5. Now we have D, we would have D9 here. I guess you know this chord because we just had it at the F chord. No root is being played, and the 13 is being played. So what we get is 4, 5, 5, 7. All right, some people like to do it this way. I can't do it this way. I need my middle finger here. And melody to the 8. Then a D9 sus4 chord. That's the D here. 10, 10, 9, 8. No A string. And the melody, I lift my pinky and move it to the 10th fret of the B string. Right, from the A, D. All right, and here is the entire phrase number 2 for you at slow tempo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's phrase number 3, and these are the last 6 bars of the A1 section, the first house or first ending we call it. All right, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I sneaked in a modern chord into this traditional arrangement. We have a G major 7 in the chord chart in the lead sheet, and I made it a G major 7 sharp 5 just for the fun of it. Here's the G on the 10th fret, 9, and then a regular G major 7 would be the 7th here. So if you want to, you can play it like that. But I play the sharp 5 here, and that's the 8th fret. And then 7 and 7. I bar through the entire thing. I don't play the E string, so that would be wrong note. I mean, it would be the 3rd, but we don't want it in bass here. Strum through all 5 strings. And for the second half of the bar, I lift this off and get a regular G major 7. So from G major 7 sharp 5 to regular G major 7. And here's a 2-5-1 F sharp half diminished B altered to E minor. F sharp half diminished. I stole this half diminished voicing, another modern one from my pianist, and it's just awesome. All right, regularly I would play this, but I need this in my melody. The melody says B, so this is the 11th, all right? And pianists play half diminished 9-11 chords often, and that's just awesome. So here would be the root, flat 5. This is the 10th, 9, 9, and 7th frets. F sharp half diminished 9. The Locrian scale, which belongs to the half diminished chord, would suggest a flat 9 actually. So this is the Locrian 9 scale, or super Locrian. I don't know what you call it in English. I call it Locrian 9 scale, and has a very modern sound to it. And I play, this is a rhythm filler again, so all 4 strings, and then the 3 strings, rest, and here's the B7 sharp 5 chord that we just had as, and labeled it F9 sharp 11 chord, okay? Same thing. But this time the bass plays the B, not the F. Could be both though, they're interchangeable, right? 7, 8, 8, 7 upper 4 strings for the B7 sharp 5 chord. And here's the resolution, E minor, regular E minor, 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 9, 9, 8, in the 4 strings only. And I made a cliche line, you know, that walks down, actually without this one. We have this in Latin a lot. So this leads us perfectly to an A, to its 5 chord, because again, this 1 chord also acts as a 2 chord, leading us to the 5. Now here's the E minor, then the melody on the B string again. So now I flip my fingers around to shape an E minor major 7 chord, 7, 9, 8, 8 of the inner 4 strings, and I split into bass and the upper 3 strings, D, G, and B. So again. And now, usually we would play the minor 7 as well, but we need to be on the E minor 6 now. So I skip that and I play the E minor 6, and see what I do here. I'll leave these fingers here. The E still here, but with the middle finger, and here's the 6th. What we get is an E minor 6 chord or A9 chord. That's the same thing. I'll get to it in a second. 7, 9, 6, 8. That's E minor 6 or A9 chord, okay? Now, the bass already plays A, well, in the next 8 note, it starts to play 8. So now it functions as an A9 chord, all right? And here's the 5 chord, A9 or E minor 6. Melody slides from 8 to 10th, right? From E minor 6. Another A9 chord without root. Here would be the A, right? 4, 5, 4, 5. And the 7th on the B string for the melody. Here are those 2 bars. Where we go, yeah. And now we have 2, 3, 4, 5 chord progression that leads us back to the A section, A2 then actually. All right, A minor 7 inversion. I have a video tutorial on exactly these inversions and how to get there. And also I'm going to post very soon an inversion trick that I'm going to show you. Check out these videos. I'm going to put a card up here somewhere. All right. 8, 7, 9, 8. The root is here. So we have the 3rd in bass and we call this an inversion. Then we go to the 3rd degree of the G major scale, and that's the B minor 7 inversion. 2 frets up. A minor 7, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, B minor 7. Then the 4th degree is the C major. That's a regular chord now. 8, 9, 9. Here's the melody, so I don't play the 5th, just up until the 3rd. 8, 9, 9. Then the 5 chord is D7. D is 10, 10, 11, D7, right? And it sounds like a rhythm, but it's actually the melody. It's that way. All right? All right, here's the entire house 1, the phrase number 3 at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phrase number 4 is the last phrase already. We are now at the 2nd house or the 2nd ending. What you gotta do is repeat phrase number 1 and 2, and then we jump into the 2nd house, okay? The 1st house ends with that D chord, D9 sus 4, and then comes phrase number 4, and this I'm gonna play for you now. 3, 4. All right, as I said, we were at the D9, 13 actually, 9 sus 4, melody, and now the 2nd house, phrase number 4. We go to G major 7, and remember in the first house I had that G major 7 sharp 5 chord. I don't play that now, I just play the G major 7 chord, but just the lower 3 strings, G, B, and D, the triad, 10, 9, 7. But I bar already because now I need to go to the melodies, that's the E string, 7th fret by barring, and then the B string follows. 1 and 2 and F sharp 9. 9, 8, 9, 10. This next, followed by flat 9. 10, 9, 10, 9. So what you do is lift your pinky, press hard against that B string to bar it, and you get an F sharp 7 flat 9. You should practice these 2 chords anyway, because they always, you can use them whenever you have an altered chord. Okay, so, and this is actually, that's a funny chord progression here. It leads us to F. F sharp here, we have a couple of 5 dominant chords, sub 5 actually, tritone substitutes, okay? So for the more advanced players of you, this F sharp is the tritone substitute of C. C leads us to F, and that's what's next, F. We have an F13. Same we had in the D before, but now it's on the F. Here's the root, we don't play that. The rest of the chord is 7, 8, 8, and 10. That's an F, 9, 13 chord. Followed by an E altered. And remember we had that G diminished. Now a diminished chord repeats itself all 3 frets, all 3 semitones. 1, 2, 3, and I'm up here. So this is 9, 10, 9, 10, and it's still a G diminished or B diminished, and any note can be the root. And it's still E altered. E7 flat 9 to be exact. Okay, so we come from F13, which now also functions as a tritone substitute. F is a tritone of B, and B resolves to E. So we have a couple of tritone substitutes. That's very cleverly done. That resolve now in the next bar to A minor, but let's revisit those first 2 bars. G major, F sharp 7 flat, sharp 9 flat 9, F13 to E7 flat 9 again. Alright, resolution A minor 11, because we have the 11th in melody. A on the 5th, 5, 5, 3. We split it, bass first, then the upper 3. Right? Rest, B minor. What we have now is that 2, 3, 4, 5 progression again. Just that the 4 chord is different. B minor 7, 2, 4, 2, 3, inner 4 strings. We start with the bass and the upper 3 follow. So A minor. And in the first house we had this up here, A minor, B minor. The melody was higher, now the melody is lower, I gotta take the lower chords. And then we had a C major 7, if you remember. Now this is a C minor 7. And we need this melody tone, so we have a C minor here. C in bass and the upper 3 strings on the 8th fret. Then the 10th of the B string, ring, or I like to use my pinky more. Then we have a D, 7 flat 9, D altered chord, whatever, and I play a diminished chord, and that's an F sharp diminished chord. Here's the F sharp, 9, 10, 8, 10. Then a melody goes to the 12th of the B. And here is the resolution, because D is the 5 chord of G6, the final chord. 10, 9, 9, 10. Here's the G6. And we could end this here, but I have a little trick for you that we use a lot for jazz endings, okay? this is the melody note. We want to leave this here. We don't want to move this, okay? But we move the rest of the chord one tone up, one semitone up. This is a little tricky maybe in the beginning. So what we get now, 11, 10, 10, 8, is an A flat major 13. You don't need to actually know that, really. I'm just telling you. And now I'm picking through it slowly. Bass, where are we? B, G, D strings, yeah? You can just pick randomly. And go back and have G6 again. And either strum through, oh, not without the E string. Strum through those 4 strings, sorry. Or go like this. Alright, so. This one always stays here. It does not move with the A flat, okay? Now here's the second ending, phrase number 4 at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please check out the tutorials I've mentioned before, and if you like chord melody style jazz standards, I have a ton of videos up here on YouTube, a ton of tutorials. Please check them out. I hope you give this video a fat thumbs up, share the love, and subscribe to my channel. I see you next week. Servus, baba.